You've seen him as Rory Breaker in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, spitting alcohol over somebody and setting fire to them. You've seen him in Croupier, but you've never seen him like this. This week on the Tales from the Trap podcast, I'm sitting down with the actor and cultural icon, Vas Blackwood. And for the first time ever, he's starring in a movie with his son. We talk about what this means to him, working side by side with his son, and the message he's trying to send out to the next generation. How do you inspire kids on the street to choose something positive instead of going down that wrong path? He's got some very strong views on this. We get into his new herbal culture venture, and then we go somewhere that I didn't expect. Religion, Rastafarianism, Freemasonry, and his take on the world today. Even down to people identifying as cats or dogs, and honestly, his responses have me creasing. But what he says about why people should just mind their own fucking business, you might not expect it. This is Vas Blackwood, unfiltered, honest, and proper entertaining. Nothing beats two old pals sitting down doing a podcast. And if the milk turns out to be sour, I ain't gonna be the fucking pussy to drink it. Make sure you tune in, buckle up, subscribe, and we'll see you on the other side. Welcome back to the Tales from the Trap podcast. My name's Terry Stone, and today we are joined by an OG of the comedy and the acting and the hood world. Please put your hands together for Mr. Vas Blackwood in the building. Woo! How you doing?
I'm really well, Terry. How are you?
I'm good, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm so glad. I mean, we obviously did a podcast together a while back.
Yeah.
I think he was one of the first ever guests on the Terry Stone Connection. And we're now trapping in the hood. So we are in West London, where we filmed Tales from the Trap.
Yeah.
Vas, just a quick disclaimer to everybody listening and watching this podcast, is an old friend of mine. But on this film, Vas, you helped out so much. And I'm eternally grateful for that. And we also got your boy in the movie as well.
That's right, Raphael Blackwood.
Yeah. So he's taking on, I mean, literally following in your father's footsteps. I mean, that's a big ask for him now, isn't it? Because obviously you've had a great career, Vas. And people always say, you know, when you're going to go and follow your father's footsteps, you know, I mean, did he just love what you did, and that's what kind of made him want to do it? Or
Yeah, it was a little bit of, I wasn't too keen on it at first. And then I thought to myself, he got to a certain age, and I said, yeah, let's try him doing a little bit of the, I was doing a weekends art centre called WAC.
Right.
Weekends Art Centre in Belsize Park, still going now, great place.
that's right by Luke's place, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Same building, right. Yeah. And I had been going there from the age of, say, 13,
Right.
14 going up. And I knew all the sort of principals and teachers there. The hands had changed over the years, but it was still a great place. Because, you got your kid walking down the street in North London type of thing, Camden, Borough, and if you see him wave at someone and they're walking past with their parents and other kid, and you say, well, who's that? And he says, it's someone from WAC. And they're good kids. Because it's on the Saturday and the Sunday. Just good kids. Learn music, instruments, acting, dance, all different things,
Do you play an instrument, Vas?
No.
Right,
No,
okay.
I don't. I didn't. I've actually, no, never played an instrument.
Right.
No, never played an instrument. Would have liked to have played an instrument, but no, I don't. But anyway, Raph, yeah, he's just gone on to doing his own thing now. So he's kind of Raphael Blackwood. He's doing a lot of social media, absolutely smashing it. And he's 19 now. So I started acting when I was 18.
Right.
And I'm looking at his kind of ascension towards how he's doing his things.
Right.
It's incredible and I'm just letting him get on with it because he's definitely got it. He's done a lot of, he's actually performed in some really good shows, worked with some really good directors. I took them aside and asked them, has he got it? And they said, oh yeah, he wouldn't be on this job if he hadn't.
Right.
But at the moment, he's taken his own little path, and with the social media and acting, he's got a very nice Instagram sort of like page. His whole profile there is very clean, very well styled. So once he gets that certain role, I believe that he'll It'll all parallel up. He actually went up for a Marvel movie, the lead in a Marvel.
Wow.
Recently. So he's definitely on a path, but he's doing his own thing. He's just flown out to New York to do work out there with his little team. And he's got representation on the social media side. Things have changed, Terry, since we...
Well, in the old days, it's crazy now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's completely
But that's the beautiful thing. I mean, I know a lot of people that don't like social media, and a lot of people are anti-social media, but I do think that it gives you an opportunity now to actually, create your own stuff and establish things and hit people that you couldn't normally hit.
Massive. I was the same. I was the same in the sense of I just didn't really understand. And both my two younger children, well, then one's sister's 23 now and Raf's 19. They used to say things to me about, this social media and this. They would talk to me about certain social media people that are out there, what they're doing, influencers and this, that. And I would just say, well, it's just a different thing, isn't it? And then it started to sort of like come into our world a little bit. And to be honest with you, directors and producers and casting directors aren't stupid.
Right.
So you could have 1 million followers, but if you can't act and the director thinks that he can get a performance out of it, because I was talking to Dexter Fletcher about this the other day.
Right. Yeah, because you had your old Lock Stock reunion, didn't you?
Yeah, we've got a few little things going on there.
Right.
A few little things going on there, yeah. But Dexter was saying to me, he can get if money's going to be added to the project because this guy's going to be in it, and he can get a performance out of him. So there are some good people out there, producers and directors. Well, yourself, you can get a performance out of someone. And if they're bringing a lot of, if they're bringing money and they're bringing, or there's that incentive behind it. Producers can see that person can do something for this production. There is an audience out there that this person can attract. So it's really good. And it's different, isn't it? Because I think for us it was like word of mouth. I kind of hung out at a pub theatre when I was 18, Raf's age, the Old Red Lion in Islington. And that's where Phil Daniels used to go, Pauline Quirk, Linda Robson, even people from LA, they'd be in town, and because they knew these actors, they would come there as well. And there's a pub theatre upstairs, pub downstairs. And, Tim Roth, loads of people used to hang out there, Gary Oldman. And that was kind of the place. But it was like this here, having conversations. You had to see someone, and a director might say, oh, I'm doing something, workshops, why don't you come down? And that would be the Friday that you were at the Old Red Lion, and you'd go the next week, and that would commence your journey.
It's like networking, wasn't it? But now,
now it's with the phone. And we've got to give them credit, because it is the future. And there are some, I've seen some, there are some, I'm not too sure if they can do what they're doing, what they do for their content. I'm not too sure if they can bring that into a written script within the entirety that they're doing it in their on their social media. I'm not too sure if that works, because unless they're playing themselves.
Right.
Because I believe that, if you write something, this is the wonderful thing about our profession, and I will say it is our profession, being a professional actor, member of Equity, and coming through the ranks like that. I think when you play a character, there is a matter of a high level of delving into the character, understanding the script and the reasons why you're in this scene and the other scene. I've worked with actors on, say, like rappers and, those type of guys, creatives, but on the music side, and they've come on to film shoots and they're playing a moment in the film. And the first thing they're starting to whisper to him, how long is this going to take?
Yeah. Come on.
I've got to go. Do you know what I mean? I've got to go. And why this is because when they do their film shoots for their new tunes, it's really like everyone's drinking a brandy, having a spliff, this, that, the camera gets rolling. It's very generic. And it's got the vibe. And your man, the director, cinematographer, works a certain way with the music beating in the background, and it's done in a day, you know what I mean, or whatever. The main guy comes and he's in the party mode, And then they find themselves in a very kind of more of a controlled area. Yes, they might have to do something within that realm, but it's controlled. So if you are drinking brandy and you're smoking, they're going to ask you not to do it on the set. But that's what, so it's kind of a bit different. So I think that the beauty of being an actor, there is the characterization and character development, and so they can learn something from us and we can learn something from them. So it's a wonderful world.
I also think as well with social media, and I've noticed this as well, there's people that get loads and loads of views and have loads and loads of followers, but then they get used to people going, I want to watch 30 seconds of this guy saying something funny, or I want to see a minute of this guy playing a character, and that's it, right? But then when you try and make that translate and you go, well, actually, this guy's now going to be in a movie, or this guy's going to do something else, people are like, well, I don't really want to fucking sit and watch this. I only want to see this 30-second clip or this minute clip. So when you're doing the social media stuff, one thing that I've learned is when you're watching people and you think, this guy's really talented, I really like his shit. But I think the problem with social media is if you give too much away, then what happens is when people see you in something, they're like, well, I watch him for free on social media every day. I watch his videos for free. Yeah, why would I pay? Do you know what I mean? So in a weird sort of way, social media can also harm people, I think, because when, you know, if you do something funny online, people go, oh, there's Vas, he's doing his little 30-second, he's funny, Vas. I love it when he says that saying or whatever. But then you then go, well, actually, Vas is going to be in this thing now. And then you go, well, I just like watching the little clip of him being funny. And I think that sometimes that's you kind of become a victim of your own success on social media by, I think, doing too much. I mean, I don't know how, for you personally,
Well,
do you do sort of a daily post, or do you
No.
I mean, do it whenever you feel like it?
Yeah, that's a very good point. That is a really good point. And I've noticed that it's a bit of a cheat, because if you're like, say, myself or even yourself, I'm sure you can relate to it, and you're used to playing certain characters, you play characters. Now, you can't showboat a character that hasn't yet come out in a movie. So say, for instance, if I've just done something and I like what I did and I want to kind of mess about with that character a little bit on my own Instagram sort of account, I couldn't really do that until they say so, okay? So I just generally kind of get, like for instance now, I mean, before I leave, I'll take some pictures with you. And I know people like you, they've got a lot of respect for you, likewise myself, and they like to know what we're doing. And we've just done something together. That's generic.
We've just done something special, baby.
You said you wouldn't. Anyway, we'll do it later, Clyde. Oh, boy, hold it together, that's all right. Yeah, so, you know, it's like that. But, yeah, you know, I mean, was it that guy, what's his name? Is it Jim Skin?
Jim Skin, yeah. He's
Jim
online
Skin.
quite a bit now, isn't he?
Yeah.
But he used to do the thing with a big chin. And now he's changed it slightly.
Yeah, he's doing things where and you know, right. So he has changed it, and he's doing it with his brother and going about the place and moving around and everything. And I thought, that's very clever.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to say that here. He's really clever what he's doing, because he's trying to catch us again, you know?
Right.
And I think that's what it's all about. And it's going out there, being creative. I mean, in our industry, to get a camera, to get equipment, to get a little bit of money behind you and get out there and do it, is what it's all about, really, and teamwork. And I think it's nice to see individuals being able to sort of express themselves with their phones and create moments. Right. They might be 10 seconds long, or whatever, where people just want to scroll and think that's very funny. But yeah, there's a fine line with it, really, isn't it? Because as you said, those 1 million people that love that, right, they just love that, right, of that person. Yeah. Right? So how can that help in your next movie? And you know that person's got 1 million followers. How can that really help? He's not going to be saying any of that. He's not going to be doing any of that. So in a way, you're doing him a massive favour. Yeah.
Even so you should be paying me.
That's right.
I'm going to try that one.
No, it's good. No, it's true though. Right. It's true, because look at Jim's. As I said, Jim's Skin. Yeah, what he's doing, he's actually doing it for himself. He's not waiting to get a partner, a movie, or this, that, and the other. So now there's a couple of things. In actual fact, some of the things that he's doing now, you're seeing him moving around a little bit, a lot. You're seeing him interacting with people interacting with people. there was that moment where these guys tried to bully him, and I watched all of that, and I thought I thought he really handled himself well.
Right.
And yeah, it's about levels when it comes to social media.
But wasn't there something online though where one of the guys that bullied him got stabbed or something? I mean, I think it did end up in a violent, not directly related to him.
I
but I
heard
think someone around him or somebody there got upset about it, and
I heard I heard that something like that happened, and there's a lot of I think his whole PR push now is he's a people's person, and people do like him. And I think that's really nice because that helps everyone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because, you find as well in the world of social media and also the world of the internet and, social media, basically. It's like every such and such has got a comment. Everyone's everyone thinks that their comment counts. And when there's nice comments being made about someone, nice comments, there's always someone who wants to they want to get a few thousand likes because they said something which is a little bit risque. Right. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's nice. And that's one reason with social media. I don't really care as such. What is nice is that you can post things that you want to post. Yeah. Be happy about that. If 4 people like it, 1 person like it, it doesn't really matter. Right. But obviously with my son in the work, hence bringing up the conversation, talking about Raf and social media and influencing, what he's doing is like, it's real business. I mean, he's got a management company behind him and you got to respect what they're doing because it's like, even if it's clothes, Puma, big brands, they want to work with him and this, that, and I think it's wonderful.
But he's not been in a movie before, has he?
Yeah, he's done. Yeah, he has. He's been in a couple of films. Yeah.
Right, okay. Because I thought this one was his movie debut.
No, it's not his movie. No. He's what? Do you remember the film? Do you remember film with Sean Connery, The Untouchables, and Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
Do you remember the little guy with the glasses who was on Kevin? Who was part of their team? It was part of they were the cops that were getting the bootleggers, right? There's an actor in it. He had glasses in it. I can't remember his name now, but he's now a big film director, American actor.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and Raf did a film with him.
Wow.
And
is that out yet, or is that?
Yeah, that's out. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's a film about the cat. You know the cat, Bob the cat.
Yes.
Yeah, he did part 2. He was in that, and that American directed that, and then Peripheral, which was a TV series, big TV series for Amazon. He's done a little bit on that. But yeah, he's batting and balling. But I'd say, as far as roles, urban, independent film, showcasing himself, I think yours is the first.
Because when we was talking about Tales from a Trap, year and a half, 2 years ago, whenever it was, you actually said to me, my son would be perfect for that role. Yeah. And obviously you in Tales from a Trap, you play the voice of reason. And I love that character. I mean, for you personally, Vas, like growing up in London and seeing obviously how the world's changed, seeing all this sort of hood shit where people are sort of stabbing and killing each other over nothing. I mean, what's your sort of take on it? Because you've obviously read the script, you've been in the film, you've obviously seen it. I mean, how real is that compared to what's going on?
Yeah, well, it's difficult times, isn't it, for young people? But it was always difficult even when we were young. Right. Roaming the streets, going from friends' houses to other friends' houses and doing things on the weekend after school, going to school. It was always a little bit, you just had to be on your toes. You had to be very sharp and very clever. Now, with the young people nowadays, with this sort of the knives and the guns and things of that sort, I mean, do I sound old-fashioned if I say I blame the music? Do I sound old-fashioned, or do I sound a little bit not with it if I blame a lack of personal education, your own personal education, how you want to develop yourself as a human being, self-worth? So self-worth, a lot of self-worth is lacking. For instance, if you were to be a member of a gang that like to get together, if you smoke, they smoke, but like to do happy things, like they just do things,
Go to church and sing Kumbaya.
Well, no. Well, no. To be honest with you, let's just say, just do things like not a fellowship. Don't necessarily have to go to church, but just kind of like if they go out, they're known to be like they look good, they're happy crowd. You know, attract positive energy because of that. There's nothing wrong with that, and I think you get more noticed that way, 100%. Especially getting yourself about. But then, where does all of the wearing hoods, postcodes, violent attacks on other individuals because they come from another postcode, aggression, where does all that aggression come from? And that's that is my question. That is my query. That's my kind. So I would look into it on that. Where does that aggression come from? I feel it's great for subject matter, and that's why Tales from the Trap did interest me, because it's nice to be the voice of reason when, because you can't say anything to a young jig, Because
they always go, "What do you know, you fucking old cunt?" Yeah, it's always that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not me. I know best.
And then if you persist, then you could get yourself in a bit of a problem. They'll dismiss you verbally, but if you keep coming at them, not to say rightfully so, but they're all about not being told.
Right.
And it's...
Do you think it's because as they're being brought up that they're not being taught respect, they're not being taught, you have to be polite, you have to say please, you have to say thank you? Or do you think that... Because I was talking to someone the other day who's in a gang, right? And I actually had a conversation with him, and I said, people are walking around robbing people, stabbing people, shooting people over nothing really, right? And how do you stop it, right? And they were like, well, you can't really stop it because, if I don't go out with my weapon and somebody that wants to do me something, they got their weapon, they're going to kill me, right? So I've got to have my weapon as defence. So they're already thinking, I've got to have my weapon when I go out. So that's obviously a weird way to think. I can't leave the house. I feel naked without my knife or my gun. So if that's the mindset, I don't know how you change it, and I don't know how you fix it. They're increasing sentences for if you stab someone to death with a knife and they die. They're increasing your sentence, but it's not really having any effect. So I've always wanted to fix the problem. Because obviously I live in this country and it was never as bad as it is now. So I don't know if it's because of a lack of police. I don't know if it's because the government aren't coming down hard enough. I don't know if people aren't being educated properly. Because like when you hear some of the stories at school, kids fucking attacking teachers and telling them to fuck off and all this stuff. You just sort of think, I would never... In our school, I'm pretty sure in your school as well, if you'd have fucking spoke to a teacher, you'd have either got a fucking one of them big rubbers in the back of the head, or you'd have got a fucking smack around the ear roll. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's debatable though, because my school was pretty tough school. Not tough school, but there was full of characters. Right. Some serious characters came out of my school. Camden, Borough of Camden, but we're right next door to Islington. So we had guys like from the Adams family, right? Who I grew up with, the type of those gentlemen, and Gilbert Winters, who was an enforcer for the Adamses. And at school, those guys were, if there were moments with teachers, there was a couple of teachers that could stand up to some of those guys. But if we had the cane, but if you're going to cane someone like Gilbert Winters or Tommy Adams or someone like that, do you know what I mean? You'd have to find them to cane them, do you know what I mean? Because they just easily walk out of school, you won't see them. Right. Yeah. And then if you have to send a letter to their parents, then you'd have to do that.
Right.
And then when they do come back, you're not going to cane them. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That's why they walked away the first time. They'll walk away again.
It's not a good idea.
They're not going to cane. They'll stand up to the teacher. So we had that energy at my school. But then I would say right now, I'm not too sure. Because even that generation of, say, if you want to call back whatever, sort of that world, there are morals. Do you know, there's certain things, there's reasons for doing things and not doing things. So nowadays, I think a lot of it boils down to self-worth. For instance, I'm going to be, okay, so I'm going to be, I'll speak some of my mind here. So let's just say, coming from my background, right, parentage, coming over here from Jamaica, 1959, my mum and dad, and I lost my dad actually, Boxing Day,
yeah, I remember
2025, yeah. And he was a great man. He's Vas Blackwood, Roy Blackwood Senior, I'm Vas Roy Blackwood Junior. So I'm now, my dad transitioned to a spiritual realm as I saw it, and so he's somewhere better now. But what my dad did for himself and my mum was incredible. Do you know, 15 grand first mortgage, Kentish Town, 1959. You know, and we grew up like that. And my mum used to take me to Jamaica from a very young age. So I got into my kind of not my roots, but sort of the cultural aspect of my soul, if you know what I'm trying to say. But one thing my mum did do, hence us being brought up in Kentish Town, was that she wanted us to mix with others.
Right.
You know, she didn't want us to move into Brixton.
Right.
She didn't want us to go in certain parts of Hackney. She didn't want to buy a property there. She wanted it in Kentish Town because she wanted us to mix with others.
Right.
And that's helped me so much, even to be sitting here now.
Right.
I just get on with people because that's the way we were brought up. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Now, I like to read a lot, and I like to sort of get into the self-worth, your culture type of thing. Because if you know your culture, you know where you're coming from, you're going to be cool with people and where you're going. People aren't going to get you wrong, you know? It's just being cool. And I just think, for instance, if any young person's listening to me now, right, especially regarding our movie, and we're going to be attracting a lot of that young element, have any of you ever thought about Rastafari? Now I'm going to say Rastafari. So, Vas has just said Rastafari. Well, look into it good. Look into it good. It's not just the fashion of the dreadlocks. That comes with something.
Right.
It's not just blazing ganja as the Rastaman would say, joker smoker. That's what you are. It's about blazing a chalice for libation, world peace. That's why the Rastaman blazes the chalice. That's why it's a sacrament. Cannabis is a sacrament. And Rastafari. So if per se, where I am now in life, just say if it had gone back a few generations, because they weren't preaching Rastafari or teaching Rastafari in schools. And if they had done that, and if they do that, which they can do that, it'll make a young individual want to sit in the class for a bit longer, want to listen for a little bit longer. And then maybe if they go down that path, the Rastafarians, they support and stand up to Shabbat, just like the Jews. So Friday, they're off the road.
Right.
And they come back again on Sunday, sunrise. Vegan diet, well, ital, they get the salt from the food. They don't eat anything with a face.
Right.
It's a pure in heart. Now you might be thinking, what's he going on about? Well, for instance, Jamaica, again, Rastafari, you know, it's like, listen, they've got an edge. Some of them have come from they've got an edge. Right. They've got an edge. They used to do that.
Right.
But then they start to get into something else. And that manosphere spirit and energy that you've got gets channeled somewhere totally, completely different, where all of a sudden now you're being respected. Because Rastafari, you're a technician, a musician. Rastafari, you have got a studio where you do podcasts. Rastafari, you're acting. Rastafari, you're a musician. Rastafari, you're a lawyer. Rastafari, you're a doctor. Rastafari, you're a bus driver. Rastafari, you're a butcher. Rastafari, you're everything. Mechanic, you know. So it's what is your self-worth, young man? And I say Rastafari, and even Rastafari is not just for a black kid, neither. You know what I mean?
So I could become Rastafari, and I haven't got to put the dreads on.
You don't have to put the dreads on. It's in your heart, and I knew you were going to ask for that, my brother. And you know you are.
It.
Yeah. So it's just self-worth. Just get self-worth. I mean, that's just one example.
Right.
Because there is a point when you ask people are talking about, they're talking about sort of, I feel like unrepresented.
Right.
I feel unrepresented. You know, I'm a black kid in London. You hear a lot of that, you know, and where they're saying I'm underrepresented, where they're saying that I'm underrepresented, well, you have to find your representation.
Right.
And you have to, each and every one of those youngsters from whatever age, from when, as we say in Jamaica, from when they've learnt to piss straight, you know what I mean? They think they're a bit of a man, right? You have the opportunity to change this world.
Right.
So it's about self-worth. So that's why I don't understand why one would get together with another group. We say this little postcode area is our area, and wherever it's coming from, they start getting cocaine, whatever they're getting, selling it to people that want it, polluting the area, and high level of negativity, then defending the area. People can't pay for the cocaine, or they run up bills, and you know the money is not coming back accordingly. They go out there and cause hurt, and but as I say, that's a lack of self-worth.
I mean, it's a good message, Vas, to actually promote, because I think, you know, it's very easy to say, to complain about stuff and to be negative and to say, well, I'm underrepresented, or what about me? No one cares about me. Yeah. And I think maybe that's part of the problem, because then when you see the gang, and the gang are like, you know, they're all arms open wide, come with us, we'll be your family, we'll look after you. And then you feel, maybe that's part of the problem, because people don't feel like they belong. And if they don't feel like they belong, but then sometimes they need to have options, they need to be educated, you know, they need to be...
Absolutely. And then we could take it another way. I'd try and drop myself into their shoes, present time. And I just think, from when my parents came over here, and some of the stuff that my mum would have had to have gone through, pushing a pram with me in the pram, so I wouldn't have been consciously aware of it.
Right.
But some of the things that she had to go through and just carry on and still be a smiling and a happy mum. And my dad as well, still be a happy and smiling dad. Some of the things that they used to go through were so, not banal, but they were like, there was a high level of ignorance being thrown at them from people that just didn't like black people. Now, presently, and I've been noticing this, I feel as though there's more racism, but now than there was in the 50s.
Right.
But what I've noticed, which really does interest me, is where the racism is coming from.
Right.
Right. So there was a time when I was a certain age, and I was fortunate to be brought up in a fairly good area, and I still live in a good area. I consider it to be a good area. I love the borough of Camden, it's a good area. But what I did find was that, what I did know, that back in the day, there was a lot of well-to-do, say, well-to-do people that were aware and also involved in bettering black people's, UK black people's, say, not deprivation, deprivations and negativity, racism, fighting, like anti-racism marches, right. CND, that type of thing, ban the bomb, that they all came into a kind of a little faction, you know? And so we had I'm not one to talk politics as such, but I'm just giving you a point, because we're getting back to this tells the trap and disproportionate youth. So you had the right wing of things and you had the left wing of things, right? And the left wing of things usually were very much for, you can't say that to them, you can't do that to them. And if my parents or the likes of my young self in my early teens wanted some form of support, we'd get it from the sort to a degree the left, if you know where I'm coming from. You know, you've got the Daily Mirror reading, you've got the Sun reading, all that business. But I don't want to categorise. So, but what I've noticed is, nowadays, 2026, those people, the same type of liberal type people that used to be very helpful to my race, the cause, right? It's not like we've been forgotten about, but there's a new word, and it's called self-entitlement.
Right.
It's a new word, Till.
I love it.
But
Love
it's
it.
an old
There's a lot
word,
of it about.
But,
There's a lot of it.
and
It's like a virus.
And, you know, it's an interesting one because, I mean, in the area that I've brought up in that area, and you might walk around my area, and I think the estate agents sell it to the prospective buyers.
Right.
And it goes along a little bit with gentrification
Right.
and self-entitlement. So all of a sudden you've got these young people, young families moving into your area, you know, whatever. I'm sure people living in and around about London and England will know it. And they're very liberal in the look. Because we you know, dress code is in all forms of society, isn't it? Don't worry about the balaclava and the hoodie and all that. Let's talk about any Tom, Dick and Harry. Right. So if she's wearing a certain form of shoes, certain form of, you know, like, rather than drive the car, they've got the bikes with the children in that. Whatever the look, the vibe's the vibe. We all follow fashion. That's just human nature. Right. Do not deny it, right? Emperor in his clothes, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a look. And you'll find, I might be walking down, so you might find a fairly liberal type. I might be walking down the road, my road, good road, and you've got that sort of type coming towards me, they see me, and then they move their hand back to one side.
Well, that's because you look suspicious, Fast. You look like a wrong one. I reckon they say lock stock.
I wanted to know that, officer. Thank you very much, officer. Well, yeah, or just go over on the other side of the road, you know? And I notice it's racially profiling me, okay? So I get that. So don't, you know, people listening, if the young bucks are listening, I get racially profiled. I do. But I notice it. But then I'm noticing it from a certain type of liberal person who had a level of, whose parents had wonderful tolerance and fight and gumption for my race. Because I was there and I was, you know, I used to watch these people stand up, Nelson Mandela, ANC, all of this, that, and the other, stand up for it, do you know what I mean? And really give it some. That's their parents, right? But now it's all about them. But due to the political landscape that's gone on over those past 30 odd years, right? And where we are now, there's this like, let's throw it out there. Champagne socialists, you know? Right. They'll get the kid coming up, the kid will come up on the moped, 5 grams of cocaine for their party and hand it in and they'll go off. He's not allowed in the house, but he just does the move quick, high grade, £100 a gram. They know what they're doing, right? And then they're in their little bubble. Primrose Hill, wherever it, Posh Place, Ladbroke Grove, you know, it goes on. Let's not say so. And then within that world, there's a strong level of racism, high level of racism, which is festering. No, I just want to get to a point. So, but whereas, I'm a Marcus Garvey. I read a lot of Marcus. I read Marcus Garvey, I'm putting him out there, Marcus Garvey. Just the name, Google it, buy a book of Marcus Garvey's, right? He was a very interesting man, great man. And he made an interesting quote. And what he did, Marcus Garvey, he was getting funds, desperately hard to get these funds from all different sources for a Black Star liner. So basically he was going to get a fleet of ships that if you wanted to, you could get on these ships and go back to Africa. And he got in with princes in Liberia and various places, high-ranking royalty and dignitaries and people that had the access to enable his dream, his vision, and finance it, who are ready, giving him land, this, that, and the other, right? Okay. And oddly enough, Marcus went to the likes of the Ku Klux Klan and certain people along those lines, which really did upset the NCCCP, National. I'm sorry. Children? No. NAACP. Thank you very much. Yeah. They didn't like Marcus Garvey because he had the African Negro movement. They didn't like the word Negro. Okay, so there was those little things, but they actually sold out Marcus, whose birthplace was Jamaica. But when he got to America, everything that he was doing was really brilliant. Pro, right? But don't get it twisted. So he got himself slightly sold out. And one thing I learned from Marcus Garvey is that you're in a better place and in a better world if you know what people think about you, rather than them sort of this thing of, oh, I had talked to you, this, that, and the other, and they don't like you.
Right.
They're not. They racially profile you or someone else who looks just like you. They're only giving you the moment because that's what you're supposed to do.
But
and there's a new breed of person in London, in England, where I was brought up now. So, for instance, where you've got like, say, they talk about the far right now, and so like parts like Reform and things like that, and the funny thing is, it's like you could sit down and talk to someone who's voting Reform, a black person could talk to them, right, and get a really good conversation going and a high level of understanding. Whereas if you say, and I'm using these political terms only because they're there to be used in this conversation, but I don't like to bring politics and religion too hard into a conversation, or as far as get to know me. But I'm just bringing this up because we're talking about disproportionate youth gangs, right? Yeah. So whereas you could sit down and talk to, say, per se, person who's very much left, might vote for Labour because of everything Labour might stand for, and not get no coherency, not get no frequency, not get no truth, self-entitlement. So we're living in difficult times at the moment.
But do you think the reason, and I always think it's right, if you pick up the paper and somebody's had their watch stolen, or someone's been stabbed, or someone's been shot, or something's happened, it's normally a picture of somebody who's not, I mean, there's obviously white people doing it as well, but there's always like an immigrant or, you know, somebody that's not white, right? And then for those people, forget me, forget you, but the people that are all sitting in that sort of like self-entitled thing, they watch that and without them actually registering it, they think, oh, these people are committing the crimes, these people are bad. So then when they walk down the road and they see somebody that doesn't look like them, that, like you said, they start moving their bag around and they start getting panicky, you know. And I think it's probably...
And they went to university, that same person they went to...
But I think it's probably to do with the media causing this problem because, you know, the media's been very good in literally giving equal opportunities to everyone, whether you're disabled, whether you're white, whether you're black, whether you're Asian, you know, everybody's getting a fair crack at being on TV, being in films. There is definitely... The diversity things work really well there, but I think maybe the problem is where things are being reported negatively in the media. And it's like there was all this stuff about, you know, somebody got stabbed because it was in the wrong postcode. And then Sadiq Khan was on some news channel talking about something else. And someone's like, why isn't he talking about this? This is fucking a problem that happens like daily. It's not just a one-off, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, if you speak to politicians, they go, oh, it's the music. You know, the music's making them do this. Yeah. And the thing is, you know, if the music made people do it, then when Breakdance, the movie, came out in 1983 or whatever it was, we'd all be shooting and stabbing each other then because the rap then was still, you know, it's different to the rap now, but it was still rap music. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think you can blame it on the music. I think you
No, you can't. I mean, we had the Sex Pistols.
Right.
Do you remember that when Bill Grundy asked them to repeat that word again, and they just said, "Can you say it again?" Just to get them in trouble. But that was their mindset,
right?
And best of luck to them on that. But I just think what I'm trying to say is that there needs to be a cultural recheck. You know, I mean, it's kind of like, and I don't mean that because there's a lot of people that are on the left of it that are wonderful, and they do hold the flag up, fly the flag very high for how their parents. Kind of the stuff that the parents instilled in them, like myself. Do you know what I mean? But it's nice to just have some form of cultural awareness, because what I think is missing and lacking now is that I see it's as if new. I could speak for London. New London is trying to find some white people in New London are trying to find some form of cultural identity and stand up strong in it, that cultural identity, which there isn't a problem in that at all. But what people tend to lack, their lack of understanding is the fact that all of our cultural identities are intertwined.
Right. Well, all the same.
So, so there's not a separatism to it, you know? Right. And I think that needs to be granted more merit.
But do you think that when the media report these negative things, and they're putting pictures of people in people's either on the telly or in the papers.
Yeah.
And same with the immigrants, right? There's all the like I grew up in the 70s, and for me, like I admire the immigrants because they all come here, they all wanted to work. It was like when you go to America. Why are you going to America? Because I'm fucking wanting the American dream.
That's right.
Right. So people were coming there going, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to set up a shop, I'm going to set up a business, I'm going to do anything. Clean the toilets, just want to earn money. And the work ethic for me, like anybody that I was friends with, whether they were black, whether they were Indian, whether they're Pakistani, whatever, right? They all fucking grafted. Yeah. But I think the problem now is if you talk to people, anybody in this country, and you say about immigrants, they automatically go, oh, they're coming on the boats, they're not working, they're having their handouts, they're getting put to the cat, so there's already that negativity being put out there. So there's so if you're in this country and you're being shown all these images, oh, this is a black person who's stealing your phone, this is an Eastern European who's breaking into your house, this is an immigrant who's stealing your money, you automatically, even if you don't realise you're doing it, you automatically get into that mindset where you start going, yeah, these people are no good. And then then it does pass, like when you're walking down the road, you start judging people, like you said, you start moving the bag or you cross the road or whatever. And the reality is,
excuse me,
there's only a small minority of this country which are what I call cunts, and they're any colour and they're any religion. They're not just one type. Do you know what I mean? So I've always been aware of the fact that you can't blame everybody. You can't say everybody from that place is bad because they're not.
No, well, let's call them the 5%. So the 5%ers come within all races. Right. In cosmopolitan, say London.
So that's the count ratio.
Yeah. So and it doesn't matter what colour they are. They've just got.
They can't help it.
Right. That's right. So this is probably we're actually getting somewhere here now because my little angst that I was going on about there, whether they're well educated or not well educated, they come under that CUNT.
100%.
Banner. And what you've just said something very interesting, and I was thinking of points that you were making. When you were making your points, I was thinking of points that I wanted to just step on. Now, politicians and the press have so much to answer for, because to an extent they've used it as cannon fodder. They've used it as ammunition to fire at us, so that it festers up some form of hate and resentment with us.
Is that divide and conquer thing?
Yeah, and how they've done it. Haven't they done a really good job of it?
Oh yeah, well done.
No, they have, go tell. They really have. Right. And we've bought into it.
Right. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I haven't, because I always look at things, I always think if something's on the telly or something's online, how accurate is it? Is it a one-off story, or is it actually a real thing? And that's the problem we face. And over the last 30 years, like, it turns out that wasn't true. This was a lie. That didn't really happen. This is what really happened. And you start thinking, well, if people are just basically saying what you want to hear, I mean, I don't know what the agenda is. Maybe there's an agenda where they're saying, let's get everybody at each other's throats. Maybe that's the agenda. I don't know.
Okay, so when we were younger, we were in our teens and early 20s, the big man wanted to be a millionaire. Now, apparently, the big man wants to be a billionaire. Literally, now it's not a joke.
Wow.
It's I'm going to be a millionaire when I get old. I'm going to be a billionaire.
You need to just be able to pay your fucking water bill and your gas bill.
Yeah, your council tax. Yeah. Had to have your car parked out there. But no, I want to be a billionaire. And you could go to some of these private schools, and talk to some of them, which they do talk to these careers, They want to be billionaires.
But they don't want to work for it. That's the irony.
Well,
it's always like, I want to be a billionaire. What are you going to do? I don't know, but I just want to be a billionaire.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And the man that can make something like that, per se, happen for them or put them on that path, that man out there now, this is the interesting thing, what the man out there that makes the decisions is looking for is manners and respect.
100%.
So it doesn't matter now. He's not looking at eating and this, that, and the other so much anymore, because they've learned. Because you give that one or that one, you give that self-entitled one the option, put the position, and all of a sudden they start messing up your stuff.
Do you know what I mean? What's interesting? Something that's happened, and part of this is bad, but part of it is good, right? And that is that if you were privileged enough to be able to say, I'm going to send my kids to private school, I'm going to give them a good start in life, I'm going to help them with their education. Obviously, when you left school, when you went to university, it was like, wow, you know, if you've been to Eton, you could come in, right? When you leave university, well, you've been to university and come in. But now it's sort of changed where people are going, well, yeah, let's put these at the bottom. And one of my mates, who's a prominent lawyer, right, he said we get 6,000 applicants a year for one job, right? And he said we run the CVs through the machine, and 50% of them, they've got spelling mistakes and errors, they go in the bin. He said then we look through, you know, what they've studied in their marks. And he says then we get left with probably 200 people, right, that we actually go, these people are potential candidates. And he said we go through a process, we interview and we go through all this stuff. And he said one person gets a job. And he said every time, he said they come in and they think they're going to be on private jets, running the company, saving the world. And he's like, look, mate, you've got to go and get the prawn sandwiches and go and fucking photocopy these. But I think, unfortunately, the kids now, they don't have the work ethic that we had. And I think because the work ethic, I'll say in a minute, because they don't have a work ethic, it's like, oh, you know, I've got to think about my mental well-being. I've got to go home at 5. You can't ring me. You can't email me. I've got to, you know, live my life and all this. And you think, well, sometimes in life, you know, it's like if you were training for a boxing fight, right? You might have to get up at 6 in the morning and do a fucking 10-mile run. Yeah. And then at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you might have to go and do another round of gym lifting weights. And then at 7 o'clock, you might have to go and do some sparring. But you don't hear them going, oh, well, it's so hard. They just do it because they want to win, right? And I think that's that sort of winning mindset is, for whatever reason, it seems to be like fading out. So it's become like a bad word now.
Well, you know, again, okay, so it gets back to the phone. Like, we never had mobile phones. Yeah. Right? So
we had a telephone.
Telephone.
And back then you just rock up around someone's house.
Yeah, and if I said I was going to meet you at the tree by whatever, at 2 o'clock, I'd get there, right? Now, if I didn't, and you waited a bit, you would find out why I wasn't there at some point in that day, right? So this is very interesting. Now, phones, don't get me wrong, because I've come into this world now, these new phones and everything, they're absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, you know, because I mean, I could be, what's on my phone now? All the files in there, you could be walking around like that everywhere. I just got with files on it, so where should I do the interview? Do you know all of that business? Yeah. But there's everything there. But where something is so brilliant and the ingenuity behind it is so advanced, there comes evil. Right. There comes negativity. there comes negativity. There does, though. There does. Right. Yeah, there does. There comes evil, negativity. Right. Hence, not feeling up for it today. Feeling all these new terminologies, whether if it's ADHD, whatever, they've got this sickness or that illness. You can buy into more things. You can Google something up, and what you Google up and get off AI now can help your cause. Whether it's slacking, we call it, you know, like slacking on your responsibilities or whatever the case may be. And it's like you can make yourself ill. Right. Just make yourself ill, yeah. And with these phones now, you could actually literally stay on YouTube or stay on Insta or something, or Snapchat or wherever, which one of them was, TikTok or X, and find enough information there to say, yeah, I've definitely got that. Right. I'm not well. Whereas we never had that.
But do you think you can also make, because I think with the mindset, you can also make yourself ill. Yeah. By actually looking at it and going, yeah, I've definitely got that.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. 100. Yeah, we never had that. We never had that. But whereas, you know, but that device is also brilliant, because if you use it wisely, it can help you to understand more about yourself. Right. And also empower you to get off your ass. 100%. Do something, because you could, you're a boxer, or if you, or I don't know, you look someone up that's famous in 18 whenever, and what they went through to be where they got to, and how much they had to put into it, and you can read that, or you can watch it quickly on a bit of social media quickly, and in 15 seconds you can realise what that person did, right. And that should drop into, and that can help you, you know. But I think the greatest thing about these phones as well is also Google. Google is a brilliant tool. It's also an evil tool. Ha ha ha. All of that. But it is also an evil tool. But what you put into Google, as far as how you search it, how you do that person, because it's for everyone, each and every one of us. Yeah. That's where the payback is, and there's so much. It's all there. It's all there. The information that you want. So I think again, you know, the cultural identity, where I was coming from with wayward youth and this, that, and the other. It's, you know, you could find yourself down such a wonderful, holistic, self-care, sorting yourself out path. It's all there. Right. Even the way you diet, even what you eat. If you find yourself being a bit too aggressive, maybe you're eating something a little bit, whether you're drinking or whatever you're doing. Right. So you can actually reset yourself now with all the wonderful these devices and what's in the information. So not that I don't think that there's no excuse. I think that I've often found as well that parents that are drug users and drinkers, you often find the children grow up and don't want to be drug users and drinkers.
That's true. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So they see it.
Yeah, they see it. Yeah. So I'm not going to even blame that with that.
Right.
Right. If mum and dads are a little bit party, like some kids' parents, they like to go out to a party more than the children. Do you know what I mean? Now, there is an element, 5%, where that is going on, and the kid's like, well, I'm not going to drink, I'm not going to take drugs, but I see it all around, so I'm going to sell it, right? Because I know I can make money off it. And party scene, not really too keen on it, but I'm going to go there because that's where I can sell my drugs. Right. So he's living a nocturnal style lifestyle. And then he falls into that world. Right. And because he's doing well with the drugs, others are seeing it. They get red eye, as we say, jealous and this, that, and the other. So they might stab him for his drugs. Someone just got stabbed. He was a drug dealer. But now you don't know his circumstances that made him what he was. Right. Because everyone's got a story to tell. But I always say to people, and even here on this podcast, I would say, we were all born good.
100%. But you got a choice, it's left or right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. We were all born good. So, and I don't think that, you know, getting into what's going on in the news and what you're being fed in the news and what's going on around the world and what's going on within your environment, if you're going to source that information solely from your phone as such and take it in, well, that's what I read there and that's what I read there, you're a fool. Do your own research. Do your own personal research. Do white people in London hate black people? No, they don't. No, they don't.
100%.
And do black people in London hate white people any way around you want to put it? No, they don't.
I mean, that's the mad thing, though, isn't it? But if you actually just followed the news, you'd think there's a massive
problem. You come out your ass like ready for it. Do you know, type of stuff like, no, they don't. And you know, is there still gentlemen? You know, ladies first. You know, would you like this seat on the train or something like that? Yes, there are. There are loads of us. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's just the 5%ers. And I think so. Incidents. I mean, 5%ers build the news.
100%.
The journalists are building off them 5%. Just one of them. Do you know what I mean? Now, my parents were immigrants. So my parents were immigrants. Okay. And when they came, they got a mortgage straight away. And my dad did 40 years near enough in the post office. And my mum did near enough that same amount of time in the nursing homes. Right. That's who you're looking at here. Right. Those are my parents. We had our own garden, 4-bedroom house, and they were paying that mortgage. And they worked every day God sent, right?
And they would have thought, will we break it, come out of that?
Yeah. That's right. That's another thing, though. I was only acting. Right, but no. That's their background. That's my parents' background. But they contributed.
Right.
So we have to be careful when immigrants are being used as a political expedient to like say, just f them. Do you know, they're this, they're coming over on the boat.
But I think that's the problem because not all immigrants are like that.
No, they're not. Yeah. And what you said earlier on as well, with Pakistanis, Indians. Well, do you remember the days, Terry, when Sunday, everywhere shut?
Yeah.
Come Christmas Day and you forgot the Brussels sprouts or you forgot this, that, the other. You were for that Christmas dinner per se, right? Where all the family will come around. Whereas now, you just step out your house and go, the shop's open. It's open.
Yeah.
And that's due to multiculturalism. And I think it's bloody wonderful. right? And we have to stick back to get back to it because we are all one. 100%. We're all one. And a bit of the Bob Marley music and all of those lyrics there, right? Because he was a sage. He was a prophet in his own little way, Bob. You know, it's all about love because love is the key. I walk in here, you walk in here, you walk past it, you make them smile. It's wonderful energy. And this is what we've got to get back to. I think, you know, because for instance now, okay, let's just say, I will look at it this way. I'm going to give you a quick story now, quick one here. So Jamaica, the island of Jamaica. Recently, very recently, true story, it's in the news, a few boats have been coming over from Haiti, because obviously the unrest in Haiti. Right. Okay, so one boat in particular I'm going to use here in conversation came over, and there was about 40 Haitians on this boat. Right. And they saw it coming in, came into Portland, which is on the east coast of Jamaica. And everyone saw it, and when they saw it, the people, they see it, they just phone up the police. They're like, these people are coming in. And they've all come out on the beach, Haitians, right? So just think of boat people, France,
don't fuck with the Haitians.
So no, but they've come to Jamaica now, right? So they've come, and so the women are walking around with children, some are pregnant, some men are just gone walkabout. But the people that were seeing it happen counted them. So they knew there was 46 of them, right? So you go wherever you want, right? There's 46. So when the police have turned up, they're starting to huddle them up together, 30, you know, they've found one walking down the high street, couple of them, they're Haitians, they're just, you've been on that boat, yeah, the mile or two away, wherever far they were, they got all 46 together. So the Jamaican government works. Okay. Now, in actual fact, Jamaica, we do allow immigrants political asylum, we do, right? But you've got to tick the right boxes. Right. So they've set up a tent, got them all bed down and everything, and then the next day they went through a process of asking who they are. Now, recently, just before this, in Haiti, through the earthquake, one of the main prisons cracked in half, and a load of the prisoners just escaped. They've never been, the majority of them have never been found again. They're on Haiti, they're out and about, and the gang warfare in Haiti.
I know they're serious, yeah.
Yeah, serious, right? So, when they're doing these interviews with them the next day, these 46 Haitians, right? They like say to you that, what's your name? You say, Terry Stone. Age and date of birth. Give your date of birth. They put it in the computer. It's not there. It's not there because they've talked to the Haitian government and the Haitian they've set that so they've got the apparatus. What they're typing into is into the Haitian populace background, sort of all of that information. Find out who you are. Terry Stone ain't there. So they're going to ask you again now, right? And you say Terry Stone, and then you try and give another date of birth. So they ain't found it. Right. They'll go a third time with you. You're not registered in Haiti. No one knows you there under these details, right? Because none of them had passports.
I've got to let you into a secret. Yeah. I've never been to Haiti.
No, I'm just using you as an example, my brother. So you're put on a boat. Right. You wait there. And it went on and on and on. And the moral of the story, the truth of the story, or the crux of the story was they all got sent back.
But that to me makes sense. It makes sense. Back. Like people turn up somewhere, and if they genuinely need help, bring them in. If they don't, send them back.
And here's another thing to top that, to put the icing on the cake. In Jamaica, from day one, from whenever its inception of our independence in 1962, right? We don't have the dole. Right. There's no social security. You have to get off your rear end and try and do something for yourself. Right. So we have a work ethic. Yes, we have people that have mental health and they don't work, but everyone knows them in the community, so they'll give them a bit of food, they'll give them a bit of this, they might even give them a bit of work. But if they keep on disrespecting the programme, they'll get told off or they won't get the help that they've been getting. Don't poke that too hard. Yeah. Don't take the mickey, right? And it was said from politicians and also some of the local people, a lot of the local people, that we've got so many poor people here on the island, we can't afford this. Right. Bye-bye. And they said, but the Haitian government wanted them back. Right. Because quite a few of them were convicts, who had made some of those women pregnant, right, had children with them, those women, new children to be born, so they try to set themselves up in that way. Now, that's the island, and I've got a Jamaican passport, I've got a British passport, I'm dual national. Right. So I don't think there's anything wrong in that. So now let's bring it over here to where we are here and how it's working. I think it's gone too far when I say as an immigrant and how my parents came over with British passports, invited.
Right.
And, you know, what happened to the Windrush crowd and all that, that was an atrocity. That was a real mess. Very disrespectful. That wasn't well planned out politically, but I don't want to get too hardly political on it. But know the terrain. If you're a bit right wing of it, know the terrain. Because you want these people here to work. They need to work. But if they're coming in illegally, very illegally, imagine my dad coming in the back of a lorry. If I got to a certain age, I said, Dad, what did you do that for? Well, I had to do it because of all this and all that. No, tell the truth. Do you know what I mean? I think people like lying a lot now. I think they think, whereas I was brought up, I find it difficult. Do you know what I mean? Terry, because for instance, you do business, and sometimes you've learned that it's better to be straight with someone
100%.
than lie, because when you lie, it leads you into another lie, another lie.
Long memory.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying, Terry? Yeah. And that's another art, and I like people to pick up on that in this podcast. You know, lying. You know, be honest. Just be honest, because the truth will set you free.
That is true.
It's wonderful, and so I think what I'm saying is that I think it's been used obviously as a political expedient. It's helped to get people's backs up. If someone comes into this country, or someone's in this country, and they're messing around with young children, young girls, per se, because they want to, because they think they can, then obviously that's an arrestable offence. Because I've got 2 daughters, and no one wants that. Right. I'm not going to bring colour or anything into it, because as we've ascertained, the 5%ers, it doesn't matter what colour they are, they're a whatever, that word, C-U-N-T, that's just them. They've got no learning in them, they've got no wish, there's that evil in them, they just want to cause, that's why we've got courts, right? And then if it's per se happens that person is like being supported, because remember, we haven't got this in Jamaica. My parents, there's no dole. You don't get put in a hotel. You don't get looked after like that. The Haitians got put in, they made a tent for them. Wow. Gave them corned beef sandwiches, and I'm not joking. Gave them food. But they were watching that because they knew a liberty was being taken. And a bit of trouble might have come on. There are a few that they've accepted, and not from that boatload, but they will because they tick the right boxes. Yeah. But you can't get away with any of that. And then what about the people that have lived on that island? What about Johnny English, right, who's lived all his life there, same age as me, 50s, 60s, whatever the age they are, they've got children, they've got grandchildren who are trying to get housed. Why shouldn't these children get a flat, council flat, affordable housing? Why shouldn't they? They deserve it. Don't put the colour into it. Right. It's a young girl, she's got 2 children, she wants to get her foot upon the ladder, she's white, she's got 2 children, all right, apart, she's a single mother, so what? She's a single mother, she's white, and she wants to, and her name's been on the list for 5 years. Give her a flat. Her children are going to come to something good. She might even, and if she wants to buy her property, I think that's money well spent.
100%. Because there was a big uproar about that when why did people let people have the right to buy? But I thought that was good because it allowed working classes that couldn't afford it.
I think, generational youth and wealth, generational wealth, excuse me. And why shouldn't you? Why go to the pub and get drunk with it or do something negative? All the well-to-do people do that, bricks and mortar. And it's wonderful because that's set a lot of us up and helped us. But if, for instance, say your daughter or your son, they've just got married and they've just had a child on the way and they want to get themselves a council house, an affordable property, my son mixed race and his partner might be white, they've got a lovely baby and they want to do that. And my parents came here in 59, look at my track record, and I've lived here all my life, look at my track record. And I'm speaking for myself. Why shouldn't you give him a council house? Right. Why shouldn't he get an affordable property? Why not? He's going to work. Why not? Why put him at the bottom of the list? And if he says something wrong when he goes to get these when he's doing his application, don't call him racist because he said something that was a little bit out of terms, because why are you giving it to them? Or that if the white woman says something like that, don't knock her hard. That's the way she sees it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone's shit stinks. So it's just the way they're seeing it. It's just the way they're seeing it. And that little story I gave you about Jamaica, you can see the Jamaicans put Jamaicans first.
100%.
So no matter what country or how you look, if you're born and bred here, you should be put first.
We need to make Britain great again.
No, I don't know about that. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to get. No, Britain's. It's always been great. It's in the name.
But what I mean is, we should be putting the British people first, and we should be fixing the fucking potholes, because that is my personal grievance.
Yeah, putting them first, and then also showing a bit of love and helping others.
100%.
So then once that's settled. And then that's always going to be coming. It's always going to get the immigration coming in. And then you can work with it. You can work with it easier. And even the people, that girl I just mentioned, and her two, sort of like 2 children, single mum, the white girl, blue eyes, this, that, and the other. But she come born and bred here, and she's got her council flat. When she sees stories of these people coming in, this, that, and the other, she's not necessarily going to vote against it. Because she's got love in her heart. She was loved. When you're loved, you love.
100%.
When you're treated like, dog shit, you've got a chip on your back. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And, and that's why certain people, a lot of the working class, certain people have got their backs up.
Right.
And it's pretty obvious, isn't it?
And I've got to ask you another question as well, Vas. What do you think about all this identifying as cats and dogs and all this sort of stuff? Because there's been this whole sort of thing about you can be whatever you want to be. I mean, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think that the way I was brought up was that, there's a saying, it's a Latin saying, audi verdi taste. Listen, observe, be silent. And the way I was brought up, my mum brought me up in such a way that, why be rude, right? If someone, say for instance, someone identifies themselves, them, she, he, whatever you want to, however you want to look at it, right? Without jumping straight down into that rabbit hole, who am I, to be honest, to have an opinion about that? And then if I'm starting to voice my opinion in such a big way, and my mum would turn to me and say, why are you doing that? What has it got to do with you? It's got absolutely nothing to do with you, right? And I thought, well, she's right, that's right. So you're putting too much energy into something that hasn't got to do with you. So for instance, if someone wants to identify themselves as in, then so be it, because they've got their rights and they should have their rights. We have to be a little bit more sensible and sensitive towards other people.
But if somebody actually said that they wanted to identify as a cat, they were running along on the floor purring, I mean, because this is the bit that I struggle with, because I look at it, and if you look at from when we grew up to now, there's a massive rise in mental health, there's a massive rise in depression, there's a massive rise in issues, right? And it's like, well, what's caused these issues? And,
so back to the cat.
And that's what, is somebody identified as a cat walking around on all fours purring?
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
But see, I find that just bizarre.
No, I wouldn't have a problem, because my mum again would say to me, well, why don't you leave them alone? My mum, she's right though. Why are you getting all sort of like this?
No, but do you not think that encourages people to do that? I mean, if I'd have been at school, I'd have done it because it'd have been fun. But I wouldn't have actually done it because I wouldn't really want to be a cat. Do you know what I mean?
Well, again, it's, for instance, look, all right, okay, so I'm dyslexic, but I love reading, right? And when I was at school, I suppose, not it's called thick, but they didn't help me with, say, because there's a trick to passing exams, isn't there? Right. For instance, there's a lot of dyslexic children now, they get help with, they get more time on the exam, so it's in place. And then I got an email not too long ago from someone in the industry, I think it's one of my agents, one of their sort of the assistant agents at the office, and they've got a signature saying, and their signature's got their name, and then it's got, just to let you know that they're dyslexic. So if there's any spelling or anything that's wrong here, You know, not forgive them, but just to let them know you're dyslexic, right? So now dyslexia is getting a place in this world because nowadays we call it thick. You know what I mean? So it's in that same realm. I look at it. So I say, for instance, if someone wants to identify themselves as being a cat, okay, and say, for instance, okay, let's take it into the world now. So say, for instance, I get on the tube now when I leave here, and someone gets on the tube and they're walking around like a cat. And there might be someone who's got a little leash on them and all of that. Say a dog, right? Because you can't really have a cat. It's cruel to have a cat on a leash, isn't it, in public? So say they've got a dog and the geezer's walking, he identifies.
He's got saucer milk.
Yeah. Or he's got dog food in the dog bowl. Right. And it says a normal adult and he identifies as a dog. Now, the first thing, right, I'm going to want to do when I see that...
start filming
put it on social media. No, the first thing I'm going to... because the dog might bite.
Right.
Yeah. So don't want to upset the dog. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to understand what's going on here.
Right.
Right? My first thing I would be thinking, are they going to a party? But if it's daytime...
Can I come?
If it's a daytime... No, say if it's like lunchtime... You know, you can see there's something going on there. Yeah. So that's new.
Take the cat for a walk or whatever.
Yeah, that's whatever they do. Yeah, they take the cat, dog for a walk, cat for a walk. Yeah. It's new. Right? But I can't say that, that's like that. That's like, I'm going
What would Rory Breaker say, though? What would he say?
He wouldn't say anything. He wouldn't say anything.
No. Wouldn't he say his famous line?
No, he wouldn't. Because Rory wouldn't because Rory is about his game. Rory's like focused. He's not. If the dog or the cat came up to him and pissed on his trousers, his shoes, he'd set it alight. Do you know what I mean?
What would he say to the cat? Could you give us a little rendition of that?
No. I'm not going to say Rory if the milk turns out to be sour, the type of pussy to drink it. But no. So I'm just saying that I say whatever, and I think it's really good. And I'm LGBT, all of that. I'm pro it. You get me? That's because people have to live their lives.
Things like that don't bother me. But I just think that where it's going to, it just feels to me like there's too many choices for people. And I think when you've got too many choices, it creates confusion. And also it means that other people are going to be less accepted. So it causes more division. That's what I think. That's what I think.
Yes, what you think. I think it's nice to if someone
if you said to me, Terry, like, I just want to let you know I'm identifying as a cat, I'd be like, fantastic, Vas. Well, as long as you just do it in your house, mate, and don't fucking come on a film set wagging your tail and licking me. Do you know what I mean? And nicking my milk.
But if someone said that to me now, right, I'm identifying as a cat, and they're coming on the set, and I've just got budget for a film, and I'm directing it or I'm acting in it, and they've let everyone know. Right. I'm going to be very suspicious, right? Because I know you do films all the time, Terry, and you've got a budget, you've got £1 million, £2 million, and it's the first day of shooting, but now the actor that you've casted is now identifying as a cat.
You rewrite the script. He doesn't say anything. He just goes meow.
No, he's going to play the character, but when he's out of the character, he's a cat. He's a cat, right? So the first thing you're going to have to do, I would do. So this would probably be a good judge. It's a good mark, actually. I would do before they go on the set. I'd go and talk to them, right, and see exactly what's going on, right? Like the best way I can. So I'd say as a father, because I'm a father, right, so I have compassion in my heart. But I will keep saying to them, someone talks to me, might start doing that. So I keep saying, I said, you're going to play the role, okay, yeah?
Right.
I'd be serious, you're going to play the role, aren't you? You know your lines, yeah? I said, but whoa. You're not going to do in between takes? I said, no, not in between takes. She's got to stay in the character. Stay in the method. Stay in the character. For me, right. Yeah? All right, that's all right. As of now, I said they don't go and they don't, and they do. And then they get on the set, and we've got the script, everyone, continuity people, action, and they do a great performance. And when they cut and they sit down, right, they're not doing it, not acting like that. And I'm marking it. And then they go back to their trailer at the end of the day, get changed, and then they become a cat again. Yeah. Then that's all God. Then that's amazing. Right. I got the actor.
Right.
I never got the cat.
It's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, I will work with you. Yeah, because I think that we're all humans.
So if anybody identifies as a cat or a dog, drop us a line on social media.
100%. Yeah, once you can do a day's job.
It's an equal opportunities employer.
Yeah. No, I will. No, I will, because I think it's only fair. You know what I mean? And I know some people find it difficult, and rightfully so. And if you, like, for instance, you've got your views on it, but I think that's fair.
But the reason I have my views on it is because I gauge things from when I grew up to people now.
Yeah.
And when I hear the conversations and I see like what's going on, I'm just thinking, well, there's something fueling this. And what is it? Right? Do you know what I mean? Because I always like to try and understand what's going on in the world.
Freedom of choice.
Right.
So freedom of choice, so you can, and if you feel like that.
No, but when I'm saying about what's fueling the depression, the mental health, why is it an epidemic now? That's what I'm always trying to, and I'm always trying to see what's causing it. And I'm always wondering, you know, when things are changing and when all these new things keep being brought in, whether it is having a detrimental effect on people. I don't know.
Well, it is. It's difficult. It's very difficult, because if someone says they're suffering from mental health or problem, I mean, back in the day, it was ignored, you know, and
I think it was man up, wasn't it? Man up.
You know, there was man up, and there was also. Yeah, some people you might be acting a little bit different in certain companies, certain circles. And some circles I found were, if you were just going through things, they would try and help you the best they could. And then there was the man up type of thing. So it's something that's always been there, you know, tales of ordinary madness, and people sometimes, you know, and pressures of what's going on around them. But where we have to try to be helpful is by letting people, letting them be who they want to be, within reason and within the law of the land. I stand by the law. I love the law. I think, you know, I think the law is very important. And if you're not upsetting people, hurting people, or being, you know, sort of unmanageable in a public place, then so be it, you know. But obviously, you know, and I know that if you are being unmanageable in a public place, regardless of whether you think you're a cat or this or that or whatever, you know, it would be right to say that law enforcement would come, or people would come and help you, try and help you, because you need some help. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's love again, because, you know, you do a job out of love for doing that job. If you want to be a policeman because you want to, and we need more black policemen and black police women. We need them. And I'll say that here now, because we're talking about Tales from the Trap. We need more black detectives. We need more black women in forensics. We need more black people, black lawyers, forget the lawyers for now. Let's just say black police officers, black forensic, all within that department. It's massive, because it's all gone into like the science of it now. And it's huge. We need more black people in those areas there. So it's like self-worth, self-help, showing a little bit of compassion and a little bit of love. And as you know, like yourself, Terry, I mean, I'd say it as well. I've been a Freemason for 27 years. So, and the great thing about being a Mason, I think, is I don't think I know, is try to be a better man every day. So I learn, and with age comes wisdom. So you're always learning. So I never turn my back on things, you know. And if someone feels that way about themselves, then I'm going to be supportive. Because, do you know, who am I to judge? Lest I be judged too. Because there's lots about me that's imperfect. So, and I don't see it as an imperfection. I just see it as like, you know, if they want to be sort of like categorized as that, it's really good. It's really fair for them. Because you never know. Because, I mean, I'm a neighbourhood man as well. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. I don't care what you are, who you are.
So when we did our podcast on the Terry Stone Connection, we obviously talked about films mainly, and obviously your career. And we obviously talked about Freemasonry. We talked about the goat, and obviously you said there was no goat. But what makes me laugh is the comments, right, where people go, I knew you was a Freemason. You know, and there's all this bollocks about the Freemasons run the world. And, you know, we're all eating babies and, you know, having intercourse with goats. I mean, why? I've always, I mean, you've obviously been doing it a long time. And what does Freemasonry do to sort of try and stop this?
What
Just-
negative?
Well,
Press?
When you have all these conspiracy theories,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
I'm going to ask you about the conspiracy theories, because there's conspiracy theories that always involve aliens, the Freemasons, and now they're talking about cloning people, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And every time I see it, it makes me laugh, right? But from your perspective, I mean, what's your personal view on it?
Well, I mean, the thing is, with me, I knew about Freemasonry from Jamaica, actually, at a very young age. So, because lodges were consecrated in Jamaica like 1700s. So there's Freemasonry going on in Jamaica. And it wasn't the Freemasons, no Freemason from my Jamaican side of life enabled me to join Freemasonry in this country. It was just it just happened. And it was the guy was from Lebanon, he was Lebanese actually, who proposed me into Freemasonry 27 years ago. And to be honest with you, one thing I love about Freemasonry is that you just have to you have to believe in a divine being. Like you have to be you can't be an atheist, right? So if it's Allah, if it's Judaism, if it's Christianity, Buddhism, this, that, and the other, Hinduism, you have to have a spiritual core, because when you're initiated on, if it's the Quran, if it's the King James Bible, whatever you might want as a Hindu and everything, yeah? So I love that. And then I love the whole aspect of self-improvement, self-worth, right? Because when I became a Mason, the first thing I remember thinking, it was like, this is not going to help me being an actor. Right. It's not going to get me in anywhere and being an actor. If anything, people might shun me somewhat, yeah? Right. But as I've got older...
I think you're running the world.
No, I'm running the world, yeah. I've got
from Hampstead.
Yeah, from Hampstead, yeah. But as I've got older, I give thanks and praise every day for life, because as you get older, people pass away.
Yeah.
And then I think, and now what's happening in my life, because with age comes wisdom, as I've said, it's like being with Freemasonry and with my life, generally speaking, I can see them paralleling.
Right.
Because you should never stop being spiritual.
Right.
Because when you stop being spiritual, you become soulless.
Right.
And you don't have no respect for other people. For instance, we're in the month of Ramadan, and even though I'm not fasting, I've got a lot of respect for my Muslim brothers and sisters out there that are doing it, because it should be respected. And I will ask someone probably on the way back, how's the fasting going? And they'll look at me and think, no one's asked me that, especially a profane person, someone outside of the religion. And they'll notice I'm being serious. And I say, good, it's going good. And I've done that most days, because they're going through something. So that's what Freemasonry has done for me. So that's not a bad thing.
Which made you a better person.
I'd like to think so. But when I first started, I was what we call a rough ashler, I was rough. And I'm smooth. You never stop learning, and I'm smoothing myself off. I've still got so many imperfections as a human being, but I'm trying to better myself. For instance, today is part of bettering myself. Right. And I love that. Do you know what I mean, Terry? Because you give me that,
Thank you,
this moment. And and all the boys around there and everything. So I've met some cool guys there. Big up the Moroccan Massive,
Yeah, baby.
They're just good boys, man. Culture.
Moroccan Mafia.
Yeah, Mafia, whatever. But no, doing it like sort of like, what's the word for it? I don't want to, I think culture is such a wonderful thing. And you know what? Never judge a book by the cover.
100%.
And that's what a lot of people are doing nowadays. You see a guy walk in and he's got that look. Don't judge him by his cover, because balaclava, he's got a hood or whatever they say. He could be a barrister. You just don't know. It's just cold, or he might have flu. You don't know what's going on. So I'm just trying to learn, and I know, and I don't want to upset people.
Right.
Because when I upset people, I'm a Libran, and I can't. If I like, for instance, I can't take confrontation. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not worth it. It's negative energy. I've got a lot of friends. I know a lot of people. They're up for it. Whether if it's social media and someone says something bad to them, and they've got lots of followers, they'll go at them. They don't mind. And I think you're really made of good stuff. Our friend, Big John. Big up Big John.
Bosh.
Yeah, Bosh. I love him. His family, wonderful people. Johnny, the boxer, really they're close friends of mine. And one thing I admire about them is that they'll open their front door to you and welcome you into their house. They did this for me, and treated me like a family member.
But that's it.
And that says everything to me, right? That about what makes this country great.
Right.
Like Big John. And one thing I love about Big John,
when he says, "Who wants a fucking shit?"
Yeah. Everything about Big John. And then I've started. Sometimes I will read. Or sometimes he'll even post some conversation that he's had with someone who he doesn't know, but this person are calling him so many horrible things. You see me, I can't take that.
Right.
I can't take that. That's just the way I am. But John will, he would say like something, you must be having a bad day, mate.
Yeah.
This, mate, that. And just kind of, and then you know what? I'm learning here from how John deals with people.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And he's really good for society because everything about him goes against the grain of how we're supposed to be. Do you know? But he's loved by his children, loved by his wife, and loved by millions of people.
And that's all it. Well, it don't get any better.
Job
than
done.
That, does it?
Job done. So Big John here in analogy and conversation has helped. So and he's not a Freemason, but as a Mason, I can see it because that's what I look for. What's in your heart, you know? Right. And as I said, the guys that are here that have run this place, set this place up, I can see they've got a lot of heart. 100%. They might not be Freemasons, but as a Mason, I can see.
You're going to convert them afterwards.
No, not at all. Not at all. But no, I'm really bad at recruiting.
We all want to come and join the Freemasons so we can run the world with you.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? I tell you, do you know what I mean? It's for me, okay, I will say this because I've not really often said it, but for me, it is a religion.
Right.
And I know Grand Lodgers say, "Oh no." But for me, personally speaking, it's like my religion. Right. I don't go to church, but I go to lodge.
Right.
And before the lodge is opened, when it's opened, the Bible's open, and when the lodge closes, the Bible is closed. So, sacred volume of the sacred law.
Right.
And we call God the great architect of the universe. Right. So we don't have a specific name, not Allah, this, that, right. Because I'm sitting in lodge with a Muslim, with a Jew, with a Christian, the way it should be. Right. We're all there.
Yeah.
We're all there. And the common goal that we have is good.
Right.
And love. And you can't go wrong, can you? 100%. And we try, and as I said, not everyone's perfect. There's lots of Freemasons that aren't perfect, but I know that they're trying to better themselves. So that's why they're my brother.
Right.
Because you can't run away from yourself.
Right.
Bob Marley said that. You're running and you're running and you're running away. You can't run away from yourself. When you look in the mirror, that's you. Right. So you've got to work out that person. And you know what happens as well, Till? When you do that, next thing you know, you start getting calls from people that want to employ you or want to work with you. Right. And you're wondering, this is interesting because you're bettering yourself. Right. So I'd say again to any young people out there, try and better yourselves. Keep bettering yourselves. If it's negative, step away from it.
Right.
Better yourself. Spend time with yourself. Empower yourself. Better yourself. And next thing you know, that energy starts to come to you.
Right.
100%. That you weren't going to get when you was hanging about on the street doing that. It wasn't coming to you because the powers that be or the energy that's going on around you, the stars are aligned, know that you're in the wrong place.
Right.
And you should be in the right place to better yourself. Because everyone's got a pot of gold at the end of their lifespan. And we're all here to succeed. Yes, we do fall on hard times. And then, someone will say, well, if there was a God, why are there people struggling on the floor and this, that, and the other? Do you know, I can't answer that question. But what I can do is stand up in my own personal light, stand up and try and roll up my sleeves to my own personal battles, respect other people and see what they've done. Because like certain people, like I was told, by the brother who owns this place, he told me that what it looked like before to how he's turned it into.
Yeah.
That's empowered me because he's done that for himself. I've never done that. So I'm really impressed by that. So when I take that energy, that helps me to all the little things that are going to be thrown at me over today, later on, next week. I take that energy of what someone did, So we're all connected.
One thing I wanted to ask you, Vas, as a personal thing, is like, obviously, when you went into acting, you've obviously done some great things from Lenny Henry Show Lock, Stock. I mean, you've been in so many movies, so many TV shows. But what would you say would your secret to success? If somebody's watching this and they're just starting out on the acting journey or any journey where they're trying to do something good?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I think I've always believed in self-worth myself. Like, I think I've made it up as I've gone along.
Right.
So I kind of like, and people talk about image board or a dream board of what you want to, and I think that does work.
Right.
But you have to look after yourself. You have to treat yourself. You have to try and, for instance, I mean, there's so many things going on in my life at the moment now, and I'd never expected it, but I kind of expected it, certain things, and they're amazing, you know, because as I say, you know, things keep going. We don't retire.
Right.
And no, and that's good. That's good, because retirement is a government thing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to keep going. You never stop. Keep it moving. And there's things going on in my life now, and I look about it and I just think it's difficult because I wanted to be an actor. And then when it started, that was it. I just stayed on it.
Right.
You got given a chance, and that's it. And then, I know when I look back on my mistakes, being opinionated and speaking out of terms and this, that, and the other. But what I did realise back in the day, there was a high level of, how can I say it, like, sensitivity wasn't about, you know what I mean? Right. Like, for instance, if you did something wrong or said something wrong and you were on a big job and, you know, you're just a young actor, but you said something, because you said something, not rude, but you might have said something.
Right.
I'm talking about a specific thing that might have happened to me when I was a younger actor. And then next thing you know, you leave set and you go home. Next thing you know, you don't hear from the company, production company. Next thing you know, your agent's sent you an email saying he ain't representing you no more.
Right.
And that production, and you're not on that film anymore. What did I do? Do you know what I mean? And then when they don't even want to explain to you. And the great thing about life is that they'll try and help you rather than just dismiss you straight away. Right, do you know what I mean? For silly little things. Yeah. Other things, you know, it's not right. If you're disrespectful to women and things like that, it's not right. But what's nice now is there's a bit of sensitivity, more sensitivity out there. So, because why I believe that is because it doesn't matter, whatever it was, whatever knocks I've got, I've always got back up and kept going because I've got a purpose. Now, I was fortunate to do some good roles as well, do you know? And every day I meet someone that recognises me, I look at it as a blessing.
100%.
That is that energy up there saying, you're still on the path, you're still going. Yeah.
Would you say Rory Breaker was the most popular character you played, or do you think?
Well, Lennox Gilby in Only Fools and Horses, because I mean it's still shown on UK Gold, TV Gold, and transcends generations. I've got little 9-year-olds coming up to me with their parents or their grandparent saying my lines from that, and it was such a special episode to do, and I went in there and I smashed it. But then I think with the film world, Rory Breaker still holds me instead. Yeah. Do you know? And I mean, because Guy, a great man, has gone on to do much more, and my name is affiliated to his name. Right. Well, it's like we're brothers anyway, right? But my name is affiliated as far as work is concerned. So I'm always up for it. And the thing is that keeping my heart kind of like pure and just keeping it, not pure, just keeping it good. Do you know what I mean? No negativity. I'm ready for anything. You know what I mean? Well, and I'm prepared to do, you know, with the work, I know I can step up.
So Linda Robson, I think her biggest regret was doing Anotherhood. Anotherhood, the film Anotherhood. I think that was her biggest regret.
Not Some Otherhood or Another.
No, Anotherhood.
Anotherhood.
I think that was her biggest regret.
Why?
So I haven't seen her for probably 10 years, and I'm at this film premiere and I'm behind her on the escalators.
What was the film premiere?
Marching Powder.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I'm going up the escalators, and she's standing in front of me, and I went right up behind her and went, Pauline! And she turned around and she went, my name's fucking Linda. It's not fucking Pauline. And I said, I know. I said, it's me, Terry. And she went, fucking hell. He goes, everywhere I go, people call me fucking Pauline. And you think this is like an iconic fucking actress on one of Birds of a Feather was one of the greatest fucking comedy TV series, like in everyone's mind.
Yeah.
So that's probably why she regretted it. Even though she hasn't said it publicly, I think she secretly does. Because she gets Paulined everywhere she goes.
Do you know, it's funny, 'cause she's such an angel, do you know what I mean?
She's great.
Yeah, another mentor of mine as well. Great, yeah, good mum.
Yeah.
A good mum. And salt of the earth.
Right.
You know, doesn't get... I mean, you know, listen, I think, as I said, I just stayed on my path. And I'm still on it.
Right.
And things are happening, you know? But I'm not in competition with anybody.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And there's no need for that. And when you see me, you know, if you shake my hand, I'm cool. I'm cool with everybody. I'm no worries. Right. And that's a nice place to be, you know, in your life. And I think it's very important to be like that. You know, the competitive. Listen, if a man's got, say, if he's got, say, 20 million in his bank account, you know, big house, cars, and just like living the life, right? He's of no more worth than a man who's sitting on the street corner begging for a coffee. Because a man is just a man, you know? And when you pass, you move on to a spiritual realm, you can't take the 20 million with you. And you can't take
You can't change it up, though.
No, you can't take it with you. Yeah, you can't take it with you. And then on the other side of things, you can't take that wall and the coffee with you. Right. You know, and you're just ashes to ashes, dust to dust. So it's a thing, it's an understanding, and it's like, so if that man who's got the 20 million has an attitude or feels that his head should be up in the air and a certain way he should act, woe be, you know?
If he saw you walking down the road, he'd definitely put his back on the other side.
No. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if you're worth 20 million,
You've got to be humble with it. Doesn't matter.
Yes. I was just about to say, so if you're worth 20 million, right? You know, use public transport. Why not? Right. You know, the phone is on your the time is on your phone. You don't have to wear a £70,000 watch, right? Do good, you know, and just roll like that. And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of people like that. For instance, up in Hampstead, you know, there's a lot of people that are worth millions, probably $1 billion, and you wouldn't even know. Right. So, culture again now, right? Tales from the Trap, all of this, that, and the other, the rap thing and grime and all of that. When they make some money, they're wearing all these diamonds. Now, I'm going to get into the diamonds quickly. They're wearing all the diamonds and all this and that. Now, what do you know about these diamonds and where they came from? Have you really researched
Yeah,
them?
I got them from Hatton Garden.
Well, yeah. But before they came from Hatton Garden and they went, and we're going with blood diamonds or whatever it is, and it's like, all of that. What? So that's worth 90, 100 grand. This chain.
You know what the thing is now?
Yeah. What?
Lab-grown diamonds, and they're half the price.
Oh yeah, I've heard about. Yeah,
so that's the new thing.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah, the culture in a certain way.
There's no blood involved.
There's no blood involved. But whatever. But why? What does that? I don't understand that. Like so they talk about Freemasons and this, that, and the other, and they say, well, that's another brand of. So you've got a flash car outside, like it's you know, it's all of this, and then. You know, women have got to see, you've got a wife, but you want more women because you've got a flash car and all of that, and you can and then you put her in a flat, you buy her a flat, and you've got your women and missus in the house with your children, and then you can go and see her, she can call some of her mates on, say, have freaky nights there, and then you go back to your wife, and all this money, and it's like, it's not good.
I think the reason they do it is because they've got, they've not had it. So they want to show everybody they've made it. And it's, they say you shouldn't talk about money, right? And if you speak to anybody who is wealthy, they don't normally come up to you and go, hi, I'm John, I'm f***ing rich. Right? Nobody ever introduces unless they're a case, right? Yeah, right? But most people will come up to you and go, hi, whatever, what do you do? I've got a little business, or I'm in property. Nobody comes up to you, but I just feel that because people from the working classes that have had nothing and grown up hard, as soon as they get something, they want to show the world, listen, I've arrived. And I think, again, maybe it's because the education thing, they don't want to be humbled because they've been humbled.
Yeah.
They don't want to show people that they're actually living a dream.
Okay, so here's this is an interesting thing here now. So, for instance, you get in a gang, right? You get in a gang, and then you're slinging rocks, you're selling this, you're doing that, you're getting the chains, you're getting status, right? Okay, so what next?
That's the thing. They need to invest in property.
When do you make that real business move?
I don't think they do. I think the problem.
Okay, so when
they talk about the trap, I think the reason that they call it the trap is because when you do make it in the hood or the trap or whatever you call it, you get your money, you get your jewels, you get your watch, then you die or you go to jail. So, or the police arrest you and take it all off.
That's no good.
So, but that's what I mean. So that's the bit that they don't tell you. Yeah. When you're trapping and going, I want to be a fucking G. Nobody goes, well, that's great, but when you get there, you could get arrested, you could die, you could go to jail for 20 years.
Good. And then here we have it now. So
shit they rate.
Yeah, no good. So then here we have it now. So for instance, you then what you're hiding from, right, or what you're running away from, is a wonderful piece of responsibility. And what's that? Setting yourself up properly and paying your taxes and helping society. Because when you pay your taxes, you help society. As we know, generally speaking, that's what you're doing. But other than that, you can't really look at your children and whether it matters to you or not, because often is the case, sometimes it doesn't matter, and say, I've contributed.
Right.
You see? I've contributed. So when you come from a background or you come from countries where they have no dole, and you do something for yourself, you are contributing. You don't mind paying your taxes because you're contributing, because you've come from nothing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like all of that, the look and all of that. It's like, but then what? Because that's what I'm wondering. What next? What's the next?
I think they just want to get more. And then until it runs out.
For how many years though? So when you say you're 23, is it really? Because I thought, you're 23 and you're doing all of that and you've got all of that and the big whip and all of that. Let's say you take it into that. Children are still you've got a lot of money. You've got sometimes like 50 grand in like a bin liner. So you're going to send your child to private school. What's going to go on?
I don't take cash.
That's right. So what's going to go on?
Right.
So I want to know, so let the question be asked. Who's fooling who? Is the system fooling you? So you're a product of your own society. So all of a sudden, you've bought into something. Someone has mugged, so the system has mugged the system has made you something that you didn't necessarily have to be. Why? Because you wasn't born a slave. I came from slaves, and if it's a black kid I'm talking to now, even white children, Irish, Scottish, Slavic, the Slavics from the East, it came from slaves. But you haven't got that choice anymore. You're born free. So you can actually you could be the next prime minister. You could be the next whatever. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think that's what they need to hear.
We have amazing opportunities now for ourselves. So when you're talking about, I was born in the ghetto and I was fucking it up and I was kicking the cunt, did all right it up, and banging it, what the fuck? So what? What the fuck? Who told you to do that? Why are you doing that? You know what I mean? And great thing now, because a lot of the grime artists, I was listening to an interview with Fredo the other day. There's some interviews being run by him. Interesting man. And he said something about a guy. He's having some beef with another rapper. And it was all about, Fredo just explained it, right? He said that basically the young rapper, he's got management and all of that. He wants Fredo to feat on something, sing on his. So Fred's gone, no problem. I want 50 bags cash. Fredo. So the guy's gone, yeah, no problem, patterned up, it's all good, blah, 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 all the talk, right? And he's done it. He's done the job. But when he's done the job, the money's been paid to him by a wire, by the management company. So it's gone through his bank account. 50. But what he said to the kid as well, 50 bags, give me 50 bags, right? And I'm going to give you 20. right, for a moment on feet, and the kid's like, sweet. So when Fredo got paid, right, via the transfer, bank transfer, which he did not want, right?
Because he's going to lose half of that.
Yeah. No, he said that. He said, yeah, that's right, tax because of tax. He did not want it that way, right? He said to the kid, this is what they've done. So you're only getting 10 off me. Which I think is fair, right? And so then this is where the kids started to do, their beef started up, a little bit of a beef. Kids done a few like diss tracks. It's just this interview. Fredo put it up. It's not me making it up. And he was just explaining why this guy and him don't get on. But when you think of the principle, he told him to do so. And he's a young kid. Fredo's big in the hustle. And it's like he was even using other analogies of, if it, for instance, was some other big rapper saying it to him, Fredo, and that's how I want to be. I'd have to pay them the way they said. They want it in cash. You've done him now. Everyone can see that he's got 50 grand. You've not. So it was just interesting him saying that. And I think that that's the world those guys are in now. And what a wonderful world to be in. They're commanding loads and loads of money. So
we need to set up a rap group.
We're going to do that.
What should we call it?
Terry and Vas.
I like that. Or two-tone.
Yeah. Two-tone. But we'll get to that in a bit. So basically, the industry now is massive.
Right.
Absolutely massive.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. And well done, boys. But what you've got to do with that power now...
It's educate the youngers.
Yes. Drop it different. Don't talk about stabbing him and shooting him. Talk about self-improvement. You've got to change it up. And I know they'll say the companies will say, but that don't sell. But we've got to find a balance. We've got to find we've got to find a fine line. Why? Because it's causing problems. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I love that Christian rap stuff. That's a real movement now. Have you seen that?
No, I've not. I've listened to some of it and I watched some of it, but then there's a lot of, when it comes to, for instance, when it comes to Christianity, of a whole, when it comes to that type of world, because I have a little bit of a problem, only because, for instance, I'm a strong advocate for cannabis, right? Whether I smoke it or not, it's nothing to do with this conversation. I'm a strong advocate for it. And what I will say is this, that cannabis residue was been found on temples long before Christianity was even established. Right? So those guys that do their rapping like this, that and the other, they're in a Christian whatever background. I couldn't bring this argument to them or this form of a conversation to them. Whereas I know how man and why man was experiencing a sixth sense and a level.
Right.
How man got in touch with the cosmics was through cannabis, because it was the first plant that was ever put here.
Right.
And medicine. And we've got the cannabinoids in our body, so it's there for us.
Right.
Rastafari again. But so then you have to start small and work your way in and find your mediocre. It's all about the mind state. Right. We're living in a really crazy world. I said to myself, I was thinking, if you had, for instance, all these world leaders sit down around the table, say 9 of them, main ones, that are always on the news causing problems or whatever, and the Rastaman built up a chalice and they smoked the chalice and it went round, and they all took it in and that. Within a half an hour, him as well, he'd be there, and the other one from America. When it inhales and it hits into them, you'd start hearing what they're talking about. They'd start to see themselves. And they'd start realising, just a minute, I Rastafari, it's like, and I know that. If I know that, just poor old me know that. You're not seeing the real man.
Right.
All these leaders, they're not real men. They're not that. Because that and being in a position of power means so much.
So you reckon they should all get on the chalice?
Yeah,
have a chat.
Have a world peace conversation like that.
Can you imagine Trump? He'd be like, my God, this chalice, this is so good.
The first thing they're all going to agree is that they're going to have to give people some money.
Right.
Pour them. Because you start to realise, you start to talk to yourself, and you see yourself. So if I know little things like that, I live in hope.
Yeah.
Because I know you're seeing someone on something else. And if that was the first medicine that was there, the cannabis wrote the Bible.
Right.
what you're reading now. And all the stories that are in the Bible. A lot of it's mentioned in the Bible, cannabis, cannabinosa, right? Yeah. Cannabosum. Right. Yeah. But it's been half taken out and half. When they're talking about being anointed with oil, it's cannabis oil.
Right.
All of it. So it's hemp made rope.
Right.
The plant, it grows wild. Used to grow wild everywhere, and then over the years, as you see in modern time, sort of they burn out plantations, acres and acres of it. It's such a crazy thing, and we're getting back to it now because it's becoming legalized slowly but surely, and it will enable world peace. Bob Marley sang about it. Quite a few other people in different cultures sing about it. It's the first thing there. But as I say, bit by bit, it's not like these kids. They joker smoke. They smoke the strongest skunk. Sprayed up, the Albanians spray it up with some rubbish. They don't even know what the grade of THC is in relation to CBD. So they can't find their right blend. And it's there for you to work on, and it's there for you to relax on, it's there for you to have food on, it's there for you to do everything on. That's it for you like that. But then it can make bricks, can make clothes. It's like the biggest, so when you're smoking it, what's in your heart? What are you thinking about? What are you doing? Because it's a very powerful thing. It's very mystic. So again, I'm not easily fooled by what's going on at the moment, because the last thing you're going to do when you're on a level is go and hurt someone. So if you're going to go and hurt someone, literally blow up a city, you're not on my level.
Right.
And young people should realise that if you come out of your house and you cause violent sort of disharm to another human being, you can't blame that on whatever. You've got to blame, there's something else in you.
Right.
Now, there's good and there's evil. And if that's evil. So you've got to take that out of yourself. Because the devil you can smoke a spliff and still go out and be violent, because you've got the devil riding you. Mm. And I don't think you've got to understand the basic principles. There's good and evil. There is whatever you want to call him, a god, a superior being, and there is a devil, And the devil has worked for idle hands. My grandfather used to say, hard work will never kill you. And if you think about it, it's true.
It is true, yeah.
And when you're not doing anything, the devil has worked for idle hands. If you're just sitting on your ass, smoking away or whatever, and going out watching these YouTube things and just thinking you're this and that, you come out on the street, you're a nightmare. Do you know what I mean? We try to walk away from that. But they're out there every day. So there's a lot of things like that. And I do look for world peace. I know Rastafarians and Bobber Hill in Jamaica they blaze the chalice for world peace. Right now they're blazing the chalice for world peace. Right. And it will happen.
I'm looking forward to that. I want it. I think the world does need a bit of calm at the moment.
Yeah, and sensible men in the higher echelons, right, often are the case of Freemasons, will talk to the idiots that are running the country, and the word will get to them and let them know. You've got grandchildren, you've got this and you've got that, you've got to calm yourself down. There's too much of that. We get to them in the end. That's as much as I will say about how powerful Freemasons are. We do get to them in the end, the ones that get out of hand. Because the one in America isn't, Keir isn't, they're not on the square.
Right.
But we get to the ones, and if they need to be spoken to, wise people do speak to them, because, there's so many wise sages out there, beautiful angels. They have to speak, and it could be a woman energy saying it as well.
Right.
Because if anything, we live on Mother Earth.
Right.
That female energy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's incredible, the world that we're living in at the moment. But that energy there that's going on at the moment, that's not going to last. And I must say this whilst I'm here. I was going to say this, I've got to say it. I say, Viva Venezuela, Viva Latin America, Viva the Caribbean.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
So, for you, Vas, we've obviously got a film coming out this year, which is exciting. And what else is happening in your world now? Have you got anything you're working on? Film
Lots
or
of
television?
different things. Yeah, getting big in the cannabis business. I am actually. Yes, I have. I've got a brand coming out very soon. Rory Breaker.
Love that.
It's very big actually. There's not much I can say at the moment, but it's about to kick off.
Well, people can
They'll
follow you on
find,
social media.
They'll find out. It's going to explode. It's going to explode. I've got the loving permission from Guy Ritchie to work with it and do the best I can. And knowing how he is as a person, he likes to do things properly. Right. So I'm just doing it properly. Brilliant. And it's really crazy, actually. It's going to be amazing. Because I thought I'd get back into all of that world when I had my first grandchild. And I did recently. It's sort of 11 months ago. She's 11 months now, Tala. And it's just, I'm going back to that. Because you're only here for a certain amount of time. And I'm loving the fact that I'm falling back in love with that. But I'm going on like the legit business. Right. It's amazing. Because it's going to be...
You're not going to be on those little scooter shot in little bags.
But you know what? Apparently, right? The black market is always... it ain't going nowhere.
I think it will, though. I think if once it becomes legalised, I think people will...
It won't.
Really?
No, yeah. Because when we go legal, you pay taxes.
Right.
And there's a lot of people still that want to pay taxes, but that's their... So it's kind of like... Or it will have an insignificant work. But just look at what Mike Tyson's doing. Tyson 2. That's where I'm going with Rory Breaker.
Wicked.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
And then, and also as well, should I say it? Well, I'm considering I'd like to bring him back, So Rory Breaker, bring him back. Because we've been working on some things and there's been some interest. So I'm going to bring him back.
Wicked.
Yeah, which is going to be amazing. And so I think I'm just, it's really good.
Well, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for Rory Breaker. I'm sure everyone is coming back. And obviously, good luck with your Rory Breaker cannabis business.
Yeah, it's medicinal and it's going to be, I just want to educate people.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Not just because it can help you. Right. Help you be a better person and help you. Right. Just take your time. So that's the world I'm going in with it. But it's but as I say, it's going to be strong stuff.
Right,
but it's education.
Right.
Education of cannabis, and then we're going to be doing more work together. You and
100%.
Yeah, and it's just happy to be alive, really.
No, we've had a great. We've had a great. I mean, we've known each other for. It's got to be 21 years.
No, more than that. Yeah,
22 years.
Yeah. That's right. So it's just
when we
after
first met. Right, yeah. So that's a long time. So to still be friends.
And I knew of you before that,
right,
from the music, the rave scene, and you would have obviously known me because of my work from like the 80s. Yeah, so it's about nearly 30, 40 years we're going on, really. Wow. Yeah.
So and we're still friends. That's good news.
Listen, do you know what? Isn't it nice?
Yeah, 100%.
Because you're meeting new people every day, same like me. Right. And then obviously, and if
I think you don't have to be in someone's life every day.
No.
Right, but as long as you're in their life,
there's a reason for it.
100%.
So, and I've had a really nice chat with you. I really think
today's been like completely different to the other podcast. It's all about one love. I like that.
Rastafari. Straight up Rastafari vibes. That's going to bring me through. That's taken me through the last part of my life, the last quarter of my life. Them vibes there, man. Yeah, live like that.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much,
Terry. It's really good to see you, brother.
It's been a pleasure. Listen, you too. Tales from the Trap.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the Tales from the Trap podcast. Vas Blackwood, what a guest, what a legend, what an interesting chat. You don't get this anywhere else. Remember that. Make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing, and we will be seeing you on the other side in.